This is Fred Beck from Fred Talks Fighting. I'm joined by Coach Daley down here in Camden Boxing Gym. Daley, it's been a little bit of time, taking some time off, but now you're back in the gym, back on the roll of things in 2025.
Yeah, bring it on.
Do you have any goals or ambitions as a coach? Do you ever write them down at the start of each year? Have you done that for this year?
Well, my mind, I don't really write them down because they're just installed in my mind, and that's ultimately to create world champions, which is it's harder to do when you're building them than when you get given already named big stars that are on the cusp of being a world champion or former world champions. But I think I like it that way because you can look back and be proud that you can build someone from the beginning of their careers. Yeah. So like Martin, I've been with him since towards the end of his amateur career when he was like 18, 19 years of age. And now he's 10-0. And that's through just me and him, me as his trainer, manager, no sponsors, no nothing, just doing it ourselves and managed to get him to 10-0. So George as well, 6-0. So it's just, it's more rewarding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, certainly. I'm trying to think of an analogy for it, but it's almost like, not cheating almost. Not cheating, but like you get them from the very beginning. It's like you get a fighter kind of at the back end of their career or a fighter coming off the Olympics. You kind of build them up slowly and steadily. Just talk about Qatar though. How was it overall for a coach like you?
To tell the truth, it wasn't the best of times because obviously my dad died while I was out there. So to mentally prepare, try and be in the moment with two fighters that have fights, then have that to deal with, and it was like very, very tough to do out there. Like, trying to put something like that to the back of my mind, and be professional and get on with my job while all that is going on was very difficult.
No, I'm sorry to hear about Dad. I can only imagine how tough it is, especially when you've got to be on camera the whole time and two of the biggest fighters in the scene have got two big fights coming up on the biggest card of the year. It must be a difficult time, of course, but how did you manage to put that to one side and focus on Kenny and Deji? And I guess it was after the fight week where it kind of all comes down on you because there's no distractions then.
Well, as a coach, you're not just a coach, you're like a father figure, you're like you're a therapist, you're an older brother. So that's what just helped me through it, because I've got a duty as a coach to look after my fighters, and just go out there and do my job. So that's how I managed to put it to a side. And the hardest thing was, I think what helped as well is that there was nothing I could do. My dad was going anyway. He had like hours to live. Actually, before Deji's ring walk, my sister messaged me while we were in the dressing room and said, I don't think he's going to make it out of this. So to hear that right before a ring walk, then I knew what was going on leading up to my sister saying that. So I knew he won't, like my sister said, he ain't going to come out of it. So it was just about, all right, I've got to go out there and do my job.
You got to crack on, as bad as it is to say,
Yeah, exactly. And the good thing is I got to say goodbye to him on FaceTime. And
this was in between the fights?
No. This was, so 2 days before, Tuesday, was that media day? Yeah, so Tuesday, after the media workouts and stuff, came back to the hotel. And then my sister said, hey, listen, and my brother, who lives in Italy, he said, hey, bro, you better try and FaceTime Dad now. And just so you're not confused, this is not Kenny's, mine and Kenny's. Kenny grew up with my real dad. This is my foster dad, but I consider as my dad because he raised me. My real dad didn't raise me. So my foster sister and my brother, I've got 9 brothers, but only me and my younger brother got put into foster homes. So me and him grew up together. And as I said, I stayed in 14 different foster homes, but this family, my foster mum and dad, were the ones that we eventually stayed with, and they raised us, for the whole time. So, yeah, my sister messaged me saying, and my brother said, hey, listen, you don't want to regret. Whatever you're doing in Qatar, stop doing it right now and go and FaceTime Dad. So I was with Kenny, with Martin, I was with my other fighter, Hamza. They were in the lobby. They wanted to go out to get those 6-round T-shirts done, I think it was. So, no, this was after. So anyway, we needed to go somewhere. So I walked out to the hotel, I FaceTimed my dad, and obviously I didn't like what I saw because he didn't look the same and everything. He could barely talk. My sister had to, repeat back what he was saying to me because he could hardly talk. And that's it. Said goodbye to him, told him I love him. And then Martin came out to me, because I'm very close with Martin. And then I just burst out crying into Martin's arms. Couldn't hold it in anymore. I was trying to hold it in, but I couldn't hold it in. And that was it. Let it all out, wiped my tears, and then got on with the show.
It's like getting it all out your system, and then, right, we've got a job to do here.
We've got a job to do. There's nothing I can do over here, you know what I mean? So, and that's it. So it was a very tough month for me to be able to deal with that, and then after the fights, come home. And I think just the whole training camp of, the everyday grind, and then that happening with my dad, and then obviously the outcome of, Kenny's fight, and then Deji's fight, and then coming home, and then my body just broke down, so I got badly sick and ill. And then while I was sick and ill, I had to go and bloody carry my dad's coffin, and say goodbye again at the funeral. So it was just a crazy, crazy month, man. And this has gone back all the way since July, actually. So right. I've had to deal with a lot of stuff. But you know what? I've had to deal with a lot of stuff from 2 years of age, from the moment I got put in foster home. So all these hardships and hard times is nothing new to me. I just carry on. That's all you can do in life, is just carry on and carry on and carry on until it's my time to go. So I'm just trying to do everything I can while I'm here, look after my family, and make sure they're secure, and that's it.
I'm sure you got a few years left.
I have, but time don't stop for anyone. Yeah. So I'm trying to do everything I can to be successful. And as you said, have you got any goals? My goals is to look after my family, make sure they're financially secure. That's the number one priority. And then the only way I can do that on my side is boxing, because that's what I'm made for, what I was born for. And try to be the best coach I can be. I'm not the best coach in the world. I don't claim to be the best coach in the world. Obviously, when I'm at home and looking in the mirror, I tell myself I am. But I'm humble in the fact that every day as a coach, I always want to learn and improve and be better through the ups and downs.
No, certainly. Kind of one step at a time, almost one step at a time. But I can imagine how hard that kind of Qatar fight week would have been for yourself. But if we just go and talk a little bit about it, Kenneth's fight, it didn't go the way you wanted, but it was a competitive fight up until the knockout.
Yeah. And as I said, as a coach, I'm a perfectionist. So the first thing I'm always going to do is not look at my fighters. I look at myself. Yeah, I mean, I'm not stupid as well. These are with the pro boxing, you get a fighter, and the route pro fighters, prospects they get built. Mm-hmm. you know, and they're fighting journeymen and stuff until they're ready to step up. Whereas the influencers, which is great, I love it, they're all fighting basically 50-50 fights all the time. So, and they're learning on the job, you know. As I said, I don't like, it's not a disrespect thing when I say they're amateur boxers, but that's what they are. They're, because they've had no previous experience. Kenny started boxing as a grown man at 25 years of age. So to learn boxing as a grown man is a very difficult thing to do because it takes years and years to learn boxing. So you're going to have ups and downs, just like amateur boxers have ups and downs, just like one of my pros, Hamza, had 86 fights, but still lost 20 times, but still won a lot of championships. It's all about the experience. So sometimes you got to also step back and say, you know what, Solomon, amazing job. Salt Pappy, amazing job. They were the better people on the night. And that's it. And Kenny's just got to come back stronger, dust himself off, and understand its process. And it's all about experience and learning. On another night, that could have happened to Salt Pappy. You know what I mean? It's just about learning and understanding what went wrong as well in the small details.
Well, can Kenny box again?
Yeah, I think he will. He's, yeah, I've spoken to him and stuff. He wants to put things right. I think he wants to put things right. Yeah, whatever he chooses, I'm there for him. You know what I mean? Even if it's not as a coach, I'm still his brother. You know what I mean? So I'm there for him for advice and all that kind of stuff. But for him, it's just like understanding and learning. You know, what went wrong. And that's it. And the best fighters in the world, down to Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, they've all been knocked out. They've all been or dropped, you know what I mean? But they all come back. And that's what he's got to do. He's got to face the music. All right, I got knocked down. But, you know, life itself knocks you down. And what do you have to do in life? You have to get back up and just keep going. So, and that's the one thing I try to install in my fighters, that like it's us against the world. Okay, there might be lows, but we're gonna overcome it.
Mm-hmm. Certainly, it's good. It's a good mentality to have. We'll just touch on Deji real quick. It was a very odd performance by Deji. Yeah. How would you just kind of sum it up and describe it?
Well, it's no secret. I told him it was shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he'll tell you that himself. So that's not me.
Well, Deji would say his performance was SHIT.
Yeah. I mean, he won, so that's the main thing. I've slapped fighters before around the face, but not as hard as I slapped Deji that night, because he's going in against...
The title of the interview, I slapped Deji.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's funny you mentioned that, because I remember when Vidal Riley was training KSI for the Logan Paul 2 fight, for the rematch, it was in Los Angeles, in LA, and... He slapped KSI on the head in sparring when KSI wasn't doing what he was told. So it's not abnormal, you know. It's normal.
The thing is, the reason why I slapped him is it's not because it was because the manner it was the way he was going about the fight. Here he is against someone that's 0-5, I think he was, and even though the guy wasn't great, he was still winning the fight because he was running around and throwing jabs, and Deji's just walking forward doing nothing, not throwing no punches, not moving his feet, nothing. I was like, what the hell is this? You know, obviously he weren't at his fittest. Obviously, that's no secret. Everyone could see he wasn't in the best of shape, so that contributes to things. But at the same time, you know, I take pride in my work, you know. I'm a dedicated coach. Like every day I'm in the gym. So I just expect the same back. And that's why I got angry with him, because I was like, you can't come all the way to Qatar and fight someone that's 0-5 and just walk around the ring. So I slapped him, swore at him, told him, you better go and knock him out because you're losing the fight. In the corner, he apologized to me and he said, Coach, I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know why I'm doing that. I'm sorry. I said, just go out there and freaking knock him out. 30 seconds later, knocks him out. After he won, didn't even celebrate because I shouted him again. As soon as he won, I started shouting at him again. I was saying, listen, come on, man. You know, boxing, as I said, is a very dangerous sport.
Oh, that's very rude of me, Daley.
That's all right.
I'll put my phone on mute. Sorry, continue.
It's all right. Boxing's a very dangerous sport and you can die in boxing. And all I've ever done is take my expertise from the years of being in boxing from 14 years of age, through amateur boxing, through pro boxing, through training professional fighters, and just coming into this scene and trying to educate people and get them to understand, like, this ain't a game, you know what I mean? And even if you're inexperienced, like a lot of these influencers are, when you're putting on 10-ounce gloves, someone can get seriously hurt. So, you know, that's the only thing I ask is, like, everyone just have the dedication. I understand it's influence of boxing. You're trying to entertain a crowd. You're trying to have personality and everything like that, and, you know, get the clicks and all that, make headlines, but also understand that it's a dangerous sport and you can get hurt. So the trainings part has to be 100%.
No, certainly. You got to do. It's like a test, you know. When back in the school days, I know we probably didn't do too well at school, but
I also, the reason why I act like that towards Deji is because I care about him. I wouldn't have acted like that if I didn't care about him. You know what I mean? I care about him like an older brother. You know what I mean? I want the best for him. So that's why I acted like that, because I know he's better than that, and sometimes it's frustrating. You know, when he goes about and when he does stuff like that. So it's all love. If I'm slapping you around the face, it's because I love you.
Yeah, it shows you care. No, what I was referring to is when you're revising for a test, and then you do the test. The training is a revision, and then the test is the fight day. You know, it's like the final part, the final chapter. Deji is now retired. Will he come back? Will he fight again?
Who knows, man? I never know with him. When he fought Floyd Mayweather, I didn't even know he was going to fight Floyd Mayweather. It was just a complete shock. So you never know. He could fight Floyd in a rematch. You don't know with him. So he's retired. He's retired for now. And let's see what happens. Let's see if I get a phone call in this year some point saying, hey, we're fighting again. I personally want him to fight Wasabi. That's the fight I want him to have, is to fight Wasabi and just to show it, because I know the fans keep saying, fight Wasabi, fight Wasabi, fight Wasabi. So fight Wasabi. But I don't know what's in his mind and what he wants to do with the boxing thing. Do you know what I mean? Whether he wants to fight a Wasabi or if he wants to wait around to fight, you know, more of a known celebrity. You know what I mean? Who knows? I'm just busy doing what I need to do in the gym every day, training my fighters and then whatever.
Now, the Wasabi fight would be good just because it would kind of, I feel like a retirement of the Wasabi fight would sort of make sense, because then you come full circle, especially if you and Deji, after you start coaching him 3 or 2 weeks before the Wasabi fight, it would almost kind of make sense. It'd be a full circle moment.
Yeah, exactly. Just finish on a high. Do you know what I mean? Don't finish like that one in Qatar.
Yeah, especially as a coach as well. I can understand if you're like, you need to put your foot on the gas. Are you going to be in Manchester for the Misfits show in a couple of weeks for Darren Till and Anthony Taylor?
If I do it, it'd be a last minute thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, I appreciate the you know, the influencer stuff. You know, it's given me, helped me. But I had a little platform already, but it's built my platform more. So I really appreciate it and everything like that. But I'm so like motivated and dedicated just to be better every day, and the only way I can do that is just be in the gym. Time don't stop for no one, you know what I mean? So if I do it, it'll be last minute. If not, is it pay-per-view?
No.
There you go then. Be at home in my warm house.
Who wins that out of Darren Till and Anthony Taylor?
I haven't really seen Darren Till fight because he's come from MMA background.
Yes, the UFC.
Okay, so, but I hope Anthony Taylor wins because I just think, through all his clowning and everything that he's done over the years, I think he's really proved himself.
Yeah.
He takes on all challenges. He don't back out of fights, and he's improved as well. He's down at Lightning boxing gym, and that coach, I like that coach. He's a very, very good coach. So that's the reason why I know why he's progressing as well, and he's taking things seriously because that kind of coach there, he ain't gonna be letting AT clown around.
What's the name of his coach? I saw a video of him yesterday being interviewed, but it's completely forgot.
Mr. Lopez.
Mr. Lopez.
Yeah.
I'll say hello, Mr. Lopez.
Yeah.
Is it David Lopez?
Yeah, that's it.
David Lopez.
It.
Yeah.
They, and he's got his son.
He's very good, isn't he?
Sure, his son is like hot property, big prospect. That one, he's going to be a world champion. But yeah, AT deserves everything he's getting right now because he doesn't duck anyone, does he? So, and he's put along, he's strung along a lot of great performances and wins over the last year.
No, certainly. Yeah, he's had a good year. He's definitely turned his kind of Star One fan base around. Everyone liked his trash talk.
And by the way, on camera, just so you why I respect AT, he contacted me on Instagram, asked for my number, and said to call me. I thought, oh yes, finally we're gonna fight. But no, it wasn't that. I called him and he said, hey, I just want to say I'm here for you. You know, I respect you and everything you've done and everything. And he was just saying about, Kenny, this is influencer boxing. Like, Kenny, you're going to lose. And he goes, look how many times I lost. And he goes, now look at me. You know what I mean? He goes, it's influencer boxing. That's what happens in influencer boxing. You're going to lose some, you're going to win some. And then he was saying, like, I'm here for you if you ever want to talk because because of what happened to my dad and everything. And I just thought that was very nice of him to just come out of his way and talk to me like that.
No, certainly. He's a good guy. He does call me he does call me to check up on me as well, Andy Taylor. So yeah, we do love a good over 80. Just one last thing. Are you excited to see Wade fight, make his debut? He's always saying people how to fight and critiquing people, and now we'll finally see what he's about.
Yeah, Wade. Now it's your turn. Yeah? How about I do a breakdown on your fight afterwards? Yeah, so, that's very interesting, actually. That's the reason why I probably would watch that show, actually, is to see what Wade is going to bring to the table. Isn't he training with...
BJ Flores.
BJ Flores.
Yeah. So he'll be half decent. His fundamentals will be there. It'll just be about him.
I mean, he's got good height as well. So if BJ Flores teaching him how to use his range, which I'm sure he is, then it'd be good. I think he knows how to do a little bit anyway. I've seen him move and stuff like that.
He's got the footwork.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see him put it together. What I will say is, it's one thing doing it in training, but it's just doing it under the bright lights, and that's with anyone, not just Wade. To transfer it from the gym under the bright lights. The bright lights do crazy things, man. Crazy things. When you take that ring walk, not anyone can take that ring walk. It's the most daunting thing, but the most beautiful thing at the same time. Do you know what I mean? The way you can just compose yourself. The person that can compose themselves and enjoy the moment when they do that ring walk, then they're going to be fine in the fight.
No, certainly. We'll see. I can't wait. That's one of the reasons, I guess. One of the major... Because Wade's a massive name. He's the biggest name in the scene who's never fought. I mean, he does huge numbers on his YouTube channel. He's always trending for some reason on Twitter. So, yeah, shout out to Wade. I can't wait to see it. But, yeah, Daley, hopefully I'll see you in Manchester. But as always, yeah, thanks for having me down.
Thanks a lot, man.